I always do. I always need a good answer, so a little less.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Flat Pack Show, episode 81. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Corey.
You always interrupt me. I'm having a good, we get rolling on a good conversation because the intro music is playing, and then all of a sudden, bam, Flat's there, no, shut the hell up, Nerd Waffle.
I forgot to turn the volume off the preview thing, so when I muted the Discord, and then I suddenly still kept hearing you. I'm like, I did mute him, haven't I? And then you repeated the same line. You went, I always have waiting for an answer. I'm like, play the intro, shit, quick, mute that. I didn't realise I had the preview playing. Yeah.
we had some technical difficulties here on the Flat Pack.
Yeah. So welcome to the Flat Pack Show. I'm of course your host Flattmeister. I have with me my co-host Nerd Waffle.
Ah, bonjour.
We haven't got Switch Point or Crumple Point with us, but we have a returning guest. We have Dean Kish. Hello, Dean.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys tonight?
I'm good. I'm pumped.
I am just mediocre. No, I'm just joking. I'm great.
But so you've come to sell your wares. Come to sell. So you got your issue number 2 of Tainted.
Yes. I was on with you guys back in February to promote my first issue of Tainted, and we were successful in Kickstarter, and we got the book out. We had 167 backers, and it went to about 15 different countries. So I mean, it was quite an adventure just trying to get that thing printed and then mailing it out to all these countries. But no, we got her out, and now we're back with issue 2, and we're launching on Monday.
I can't believe it's been since February. It's scary.
Jeez, a lot has happened since then. Holy, that's not a long time, but a long time.
Yeah.
But you also have to think that when we were doing the promotion back then, it was before all of the even release of the book. So you have all those months before the book even is actually even physically in people's hands. So really, it's only been about 4 months, 4.5 months since my backers actually read the first issue.
I was going to say. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask. So how well did first issue of Tainted do?
Oh, we did pretty well. We were funded over 124%.
Wow.
We went from about 90% to 124% within about 48 hours, just at the end of the campaign. So it was a nail biter. But as a lot of people know who do crowdfunding, I mean, that the whole month is a nail biter. So yeah, so we're coming back, and we have the second issue, and our artist Francois, he's come back with his spectacular colors and his spectacular interpretation of Creek and the Gang. We fully introduce Octavius Faraci in the second issue.
I was gonna say.
And we also have another new character, or he's previously appeared in issue 1, but it was just a brief cameo. We have Jericho coming back as well in the second issue. But the second issue is basically you get the whole story of why Creek is seeing these things like she did in the first issue, and you're looking at that whole complicated story, as well as training and her making more connections with these two new people in her life. And then you have the exciting cliffhanger. So
yeah, as I'm trying to be careful not to obviously give away the entire comic, I'm just going to show little screen caps here and there that sort of.
Don't you do it! Don't you give away the whole comic!
No, I'm going to be careful. Obviously, just to show screenshots here and there that obviously equate to that to show, you know, whatever we're talking about, such as Octavius, this character. There was one thing before I forget it, because I know I'll probably blitz through my mind. With this Octavius character, this grey-haired guy with glasses, there's not many in the panels that there is. Again, I'm trying not to. Yeah, I'll take it off so I can concentrate. With the panels, there's a lot of panels where you don't actually see his eyes through his glasses. Like it's all, like you just see like the whites of like the lens reflecting. Here, I'll bring up an example here, trying to cut out the dialogue so it doesn't spoil people. But I noticed that it's almost like he's possibly hiding something or holding something back. What do you think of that theory? From when I read it, and that was a detail that I noticed, that there's very rarely many panels where you actually see his eyes in his glasses. And I wondered.
Well, I think it's probably just sort of part of his motif, or being mysterious, being professor like, you know, sort of.
Yeah.
I have all this knowledge, and you sort of that. If you, I can't remember if in the Buffy comic books or not, if Giles, with Giles's glasses, if you saw his, I can't remember if you saw his eyes a lot or not, but that would be it. I'd have to go back and look at that, but that's an interesting note. I've never heard that before. So
yeah.
But there is a lot of his story that hasn't been uncovered yet, and we probably won't cover his story in explicit detail until actually the fourth issue. The third issue that we have coming up is going to be a sort of an escape and a road trip sort of book, where the three main characters are trying to escape from the cult that's following them. So
yeah, I'm loving all of this, like the backstory of the Roman Empire.
Yeah, there's the cult themselves. They date back to the reign of the Mad Emperor Nero in the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
we go into all that and how the cult actually became tainted, and because I don't want to reveal everything, but
yeah, I'm trying to be careful not to spoil anything.
But we did a lot of groundwork in this one with trying to establish the universe, and the world of what's going on. So
yeah, it's really given a lot more sort of backstory to this cult, because originally the first issue, it was just shrouded in mystery. You knew nothing about them, and this it sort of has teased a little bit more information about their past and sort of how they came to be.
That's right. Yeah.
Like I'm super stoked about this, and like I really was like I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to read it. I'm kind of trying to skim through it here now because I am excited. Like I've been waiting for this and since the last one, and I'm super stoked about this one. But I just had, like, again, I got it sent. We got the press, like the press copy or whatever, like late last night, and like I've worked all day, and then I just pretty much got home not long ago and ate supper. So, this is like when you've been waiting for a movie to come out, and it's finally out, and you're just like, damn, I got to work tomorrow. And then you got to come on this. You got to come on, and Flat makes us come on, and don't get time to read it. Then
he drags you kicking and screaming, does he?
Yeah, he can stretch all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, and
look, Flat, you got superpowers.
I'm trying to remember. I like these little editor's notes at the bottom of some of the panels that tell you, like, oh, this is how you pronounce this, and it's Viciat? Is that how you pronounce it? It is Romanian for tainted. So again, I like that you're sort of keeping that theme of the title. And
where is this?
It's I think it's on like
where's the pronunciations of stuff?
It's on the third. I think it's on the third page. Oh, sorry, fourth page. Fourth page of the
there's actually only two of them. So, but actually, I got that.
I see. Yeah, I see it.
There was a friend of mine. His name's Stephen Cole, and he's helped comic book artists and writers, and has worked with a lot of big artists like Yannick Picat and stuff like that. And he actually picked up the book at one of our local comic stores here in town, and he basically phoned me up and said, I'd love to have coffee with you and talk to you about this book. So I went for coffee with him, and then he pointed out some things in it that he really enjoyed, and then he gave me some pointers on what to do for the next issue. And one of them was that try do these pronunciation things, because it really helps the reader connect more with the story if they know they're pronouncing it properly.
Yeah,
I never thought of doing something like that, but no, it was totally his idea. So
well, I like it because throughout the story, it's like it's being narrated from behalf of the Professor Octavius. Is Octavius, isn't it?
Yeah.
To check that I was saying his name right. With all the yellow box text, it's like he's narrating to us the story throughout.
Yeah, and then they're sitting in the they're sitting in the or she's sitting in the basement. They're listening to him. So he's he's explaining basically the history of all this, and yeah, he's, as he said in the first issue, he said I'm not a warrior, I'm a scholar. So you can talk quite a bit.
See, I like that it's almost like he's telling the reader, like, oh, this is how, teaching them, like, oh, this is how you pronounce this word and this word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was that was another thing with that editor that I talked about too. I said, well, I'm going to start each book. I want to start the preview panel or the preview page to kind of remind you what happened in the last issue, but I wanted to have it each of a different main character. Yeah. And he said, well, that will be kind of that. He said that will be kind of confusing, and I said, well, but the most of this second issue will be him talking, because like you said, he's the one who's telling the readers this story. So that's why he's in the front. He's talking about the first issue from his perspective, as well as the rest of the and then filling her in, as well as the audience in, on why she's important and what happened. So the next issue, I mean, it will either probably be Creek or Jericho that will be on that front page again, because it'll be the second issue will be from their perspective.
Yeah, I see.
So because when you get to the end of the book and you see the cliffhanger, you'll understand why that next page, that front page of issue 3 might actually star Jericho versus Creek.
So
if that all makes sense.
Yeah. I love the sort of her training. It's not long and drawn out. It's quite quick and snappy, and like bang, the next day. Oh, here's the next day after, and she's sort of gradually becoming more confident with her abilities. And I like when she puts her headphones on. She's like, right, okay, let's try it this way. I'm going to be sort of in my own world. I'm going to be in my own flow.
Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to put across. Originally, in the original script for this book, when she had her headphones on and she was doing the training, I had some of the lyrics from the song that she was listening to coming off the headphones. But because of copyright, I had to take them out.
Yeah.
So we added some musical notes to the headphones, so at least can tell that she's still listening to music while it's just not like a fashion accessory that she's using while she's doing this stuff. So and also it keeps her in the rhythm and flow that she needs to be in when listening to the music. And she also explains in the book too why she listens to a certain kind of music while she does that.
Yeah, again, I don't want to give anything away to the viewers, but yeah, there's a nice reason why she's got a strong connection to music.
Yeah, I'm glad that all came across, because when you're writing it and it's in your head, not all the time it translates well.
Yeah. What so what would be your favorite No, I can't ask that question. I was gonna say what's your favorite part of the book, but that would be giving stuff away too much. What so like
I can't answer that question. I'll say the centerfold.
The centerfold, yeah.
The pages 12 and 13, the big middle of the book.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite 2 pages, because he just did amazing with those 2 pages, I thought. So
So is this on Kickstarter currently?
No, it launches on Monday.
Monday.
Which is,
Are you able to tell us any sort of goals that you have in mind that people are not goals, but like packages? Like, do you have anything that people can look forward to, or is that all hush hush a surprise? Or is there any like
No,
sort of
no, that's not hush hush. We will be having an alternate cover by CB Zane. He's coming back. He did one of the alternate covers for the first issue. But we won't be his cover right now is being colored. So we're not going to we won't be releasing it to the public until we reach a goal. But he's coming back for an alternate cover. There's going to be there's a character that's coming up in the third book. That's a ship's captain that some of that one of our backers can, if they put in a certain pledge, they can become that character. And then in the books 3 through 5, there's another major character that's going to come in, and one select backer who backs that project or that particular a pledge will become that character, and they'll become a stable character in the Tainted universe as they become a member of the Julio Cross. I can bring up the alternate cover so you guys can see it, and then I could probably put up the test page for the Kickstarter if that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
yeah, it's up to yourself. Just whatever you have just to show our viewers, that'd be fantastic because it's like it's got great art in it and the writing is great, and I think it needs the some publicity here because it's a great project. Like the first book was really good, and from what I've skimmed through this looks also fantastic, and like it sort of elevates it a bit from the first one, which is good, which is what you want it to do.
Yeah, you definitely want to build on the on what you are already established.
Yeah, I like this. This issue also seems a little bit more light-hearted, and that also is reflecting Creek's sort of mindset that she's gradually starting to get over her mourning.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I've noticed that she seems a little bit more confident and more less on edge and more open and more focused, I guess.
Well, that's sort of yeah. I mean, she does talk about her anxiety during the book as well. And she's really apprehensible about how these kinds of things can help, or how they'll affect her. But that's anybody that has gone through anxiety or depression before, they know that a person will have their ups and downs. And also exercise is a huge factor when it comes to having depression as well. I mean, having a regular exercise routine helps depression immensely. And her learning all this new stuff and her really getting along with Jericho in the book, you really you really get a sense that she will get a feeling of the how it will help her when she starts doing it. And that's another thing I'm also going to touch on in the third book as well, is she's going to talk about how these other things that she's put in place in her life have helped her deal with some of that trauma that she had back when. So she'll be, I mean, she'll be talking about, like, I mean, also not only learning to fight back, but also meditation and these other things that help her. So
So yeah, I brought up the alternate cover just up on the screen for people.
I put it the wrong ones, right?
So what was I had a really good question and it slipped my mind. Curse you, brain.
Work, damn it, work.
I will hit you off the wall again. No, what was I gonna ask? Oh yes. We were talking about this before the show, and I don't know if this is a good question to ask or not. So, but if people are just tuning in now to this great book, and they're like, "Wow, Tainted 2, I didn't even know there was a first Tainted, but I'm really interested and I really want to read it." Is there a way they can get purchase this, or is there a way they can? Is there going to be maybe a package where you can get both of them together on Kickstarter, or is it something that maybe you'll do down the line? Any ideas or things going on with that, or?
Oh no. That's basically the whole side of doing floppies or single comics on crowdfunding is you always offer the previous issues every time you do a campaign. So no, there will be packages for Tainted for issue 1 and 2, and we have I printed off extra ones for specifically for there being multiple campaigns.
Nice.
So
That's good.
so that then not only will they be able to get number 2, but they'll also be able to get number 1, and there is even one package I think there where they can select one of the alternate covers that was available back when too. Only one of the alternate covers sold out, so they will have a choice of 4 different covers. So
Okay.
this Kickstarter is not loading. I'm trying to get the second sample page up. Might be another alternate. I should have thought of this in the pre-show.
We got Jay in the chat. He's saying, he said Switcher's voice sounds different. I wasn't sure whether he was referring to you, Dean, or to you, Corey. And I was saying it's Dean. It's Dean Kish.
Yeah, no. He's just being. It's just Jay being Jay.
Yeah, he said Waffle's way of dabbing in the class A's our kid. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Oh, he means Canadian A's.
A.
A. Well, at least, hey, you can't make fun of Canadians because at least we learned the first letter of the alphabet.
A boot.
A.
I just kind of got stuck from there.
A. Bay.
Ask a Canadian the alphabet. A.
Bay. Say. Day.
A. B. A. C. A. D. A. A. Yes.
Does this see if this? No.
But yeah, I think like I just I'm really wanting to read this now, but I don't want to be like rude and just read through the entire thing through the stream. So I'm trying to skim it and just like, so I'm kind of basing things a little bit off of the artwork and what's going on, and it looks like it gets like you can kind of see the progression of it visually, anyways, and
Yeah.
I'm sure the writing matches that as well. But like it was just going back to earlier, like you kind of see her at the first, like where we left her off with her, and then just things progress naturally through the rest of it, it looks like, and then we end up with where she's at the end of the book, and that's good. I know that sounds very simplistic of it, but that's sort of what you want in the stories. You want things to progress naturally from point A to point B. Yeah. Point A, Jay. Just I said that just for you. No pun intended. You know.
I was going to say, and I can't remember if I said this last time we had you on back in February. It's the I think it's the second page on the PDF. Is that the inside page when you open up
inside cover? Yep.
The inside cover, and it says "Tainted Part 2." I'll bring it up for the people at home to see what I mean. And it says "Tainted Part 2," and it's even in darkness we fight, and it's her walking through these dark, dead woods. You know, there's no leaves left on no life left on these trees. And she's walking towards the light, and again, I like the sort of symbolism of that she's, you know, pushing past her depression and past her grief.
Oh, I'm seeing the Kickstarter mock page, so now I can finally talk about sample pages. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, these dude bro guys going on here with their gadgetry and stuff like that. Like they got the crazy looking helicopter, and then they sort of look sort of futuristic-y Roman almost.
Yeah, sort of Roman centurion, isn't it?
Yeah, but like
I didn't want to.
Like
we wanted to give them a modern update. Is basically what we did with that. So sort of we wanted to do, I don't know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, except they're Romans.
Yeah, it kind of looks cool. It's like a mixture of like, you know, Roman, you know, Romans and like Judge Dredd. You know,
I can imagine those orange visors on their helmets having like internal HUD systems and things.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And even like this.
That's another thing. That's another thing we'll get into in the chase / road trip book. Is we'll get into more of their technical stuff and all that kind of stuff too, with their leader and what the Centurions are capable of and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so it's just another tease. Like I'm trying to slowly open the world up, and I think the road trip thing will actually show you more than just Hinton itself.
Yeah.
There's a page you guys don't have, that's page 23, which is basically my sum up of this issue plus what's coming up. And on that page it says that that in the third issue you're gonna see the seaport of Maple Bay, which refers back to the first book, which is one of the teams that Reed played against before the bus crash.
Oh, that's I remember the football.
Yeah,
the American football team.
Yeah, so basically you'll see the seaport of Maple Bay as well as as well as a ship that they're going to and the captain, and the name of the ship is called Molasses. And there's a big joke and a big reason why that's called that comes up in the third book. So
Maple Bay and Molasses.
Oh, my Canadian is just flowing through me. Join the Canadian side. We have
at least it's not called syrup.
Yeah.
Again, it's a very modest goal as well. £3,764. I'm not sure what that is in.
Jeez,
what's that in Canadian dollars?
What was it in
Canadian.
pounds?
3,740. Sorry, 64. 3,764.
That's 6,000 Canadian.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice modest goal. And
I think so.
yeah.
Our previous goal, but before was, I believe, was 4,500 on the first book.
Yeah.
But if we're going to be selling more than one book, like issue 1 and 2, I think we can probably get to that goal.
So in USD, because we probably have some viewers in the United States of dollar. We have it's actually $4,539.52.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to move to US just for the cheaper prices. But yeah, so it's even better, it's even better if you're from the US, I guess. And so do you have let me see here. Let's go.
Can you guys get up all the goals and see the?
Yeah, I can see them now, and I was just thinking that, and I have too many things going on Discord and Google
Excuses.
Hey. Settle down there, Flat. I'm in charge. I'm gonna stage a mutiny one of these days. No, it's just, yeah. So $10 Canadian will get you the Plain Jane digital PDF emailed directly to you on September 2008. That's pretty close. September. There's you see some projects and they're like, we'll do it by maybe this time next year. But our funding is closed, but we'll maybe get it done by this time next year. So that's
some of them
pretty good.
Some of them are insane. I mean, I've seen projects on there where they're asking for funding now, but they're not expecting delivery until January 2021.
Jeez. Yeah, no, this is soon. This is like, well, for the printed copies, it's estimated October 2019. Sorry, which is 2 months away.
Oh, jeez, it's that when you say it like that.
Actually, September is next month.
Yeah, it's next month.
Well, for the digital, okay, I can see the digital being really quick because I imagine it's just I'm not sure the back end of Kickstarter, but I imagine it's just a click of a couple of buttons or something to get them out. But I mean, even still, like, you're looking at the physical copy by October 2019. That's pretty crazy.
Well, if you think about it, the Kickstarter goes from August 19th to September the 20th. So within the next week after that, all the digital rewards will go out.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of other people on crowdfunding, they don't send the digital copies out until the printed copies are ready.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't believe in. Two things I believe in when I do crowdfunding is, one, I want to make sure the product is finished before I do anything on crowdfunding, and two, I want to make sure that the people who paid for their digital copy get it as soon as possible. So I usually think within a week after the campaign concludes, and then the physical copy I think. I try to think probably within a month after the campaign closes. I try to push for that because I keep thinking if it was me, I'd be wondering. And some of the stuff that I have backed, I'm still wondering on. Like I'm not going to name names, but there is one project that I did back, but the guy just got a huge deal with Dynamite to do a book for them, and it's a monthly book. So this 200 and some page graphic novel that he promised on Kickstarter that he got funding for, he'll be doing that in between the monthly book that he's doing for Dynamite. So who knows when we're going to get that book? So it's just those kinds of things that with crowdfunding, I want to be assured that the people that do back my books, that they are going to get them within a quite reasonable amount of time. So, sorry, did I say too much there?
No. So, yeah, I remember you were telling me about that in sort of a private DM when you were saying about a person you backed, and then they're working on something with Dynamite.
Yeah, it's just really interesting that with crowdfunding. I mean, like I think I remember I told you about Star Citizen. I mean, that's a huge video game thing where the guy made millions of dollars on Kickstarter to get this thing going, and it still hasn't come to fruition.
Yeah,
so
it's such a what's the word I'm looking for?
Undertaking.
No, what? Oh God, why is it when you got a word? Like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, the game is quite the word is on my tongue.
Complicated, intricate.
Intricate is one of those words. Yeah, it's quite a big game. It's quite I've got the word on my tongue and I can't even bloody say it. No, it's gone. It was on the tip of my tongue and I can't think what the word was. Oh God, it's still on my tongue. I was gonna say, Corey, say something else to distract me. Otherwise, it's just gonna be airtime of me going, God damn it.
Something else. No, like what am I to this show? Like, I can't think of anything. Send in Nerd Waffle.
Send in the waffle.
Send in the waffle. Yeah. So,
ambitious. That's it. I knew I'd get the word. It was an ambitious.
I was about to say something too. I see how it is.
Go on, Corey. You're.
I had nothing. I was just making you trying to make you feel bad. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of speechless about this because I'm excited for this. And all I can really say is I really liked the first one, and I'm excited for this one. And so, like, I'm kind of stumped on things because, like, the times where you get overexcited and stuff, and you can't, your brain just shuts off, kind of thing. I'm honestly excited for this because. Not that it's very different from it, but a lot of people who know me know that I am a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. And it is completely different than Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it is very sort of, I don't know, I feel like it has the same spirit as Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it's exciting because I didn't like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic after the show ended. And it's kind of exciting to me because I feel like when I've read the first one, and even when I skimmed the second one, which isn't really, can't really make a hugely fair assessment off of that, but based on what I've seen, and the first one, I get the very much same feeling reading this as when I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yeah, it does definitely have that same sort of feel and vibe to it, doesn't it?
Well, we talked about this thing in the first show too. I mean, you're always going to have. There's always going to be that comparison. my main goal with the book was to have a vulnerable heroine, and to also have a commentary on mental health, that plays in the background, so it's not just so that young people can relate um, to the story, but there's also another message that's in there. This second book is more historical than the previous book was, um, because you're trying to lay a lot of groundwork in a short amount of time. And yeah, Buffy was exactly the same way with the history of vampires and the history of monsters and all that kind of stuff. There are two panels that when you do read the book, that hint at there is something else going on more than just the cult. And when you see that part, and you'll get an idea of how much further the book has to go. And that's one thing I've learned from watching movies all these years is, you always want to have that, and great TV shows, you always want to have that one little thing that people go, what? I need to go back and reread that, or I need to go back and rewatch that, because they don't know about that one little thing that they missed, even though they're referring to it later on, and it becomes this huge thing at the end. And that's the same thing. Same thing was with Buffy, how they introduced their big bads. In every season, is there was always a subtle introduction to the big bad, and then eventually it built through the season until you got to the big bad. And that's sort of what the book is doing too. I've placed 2 or 3 seeds in 1 and 2 that actually refer to what happens in the final book.
Yeah.
So you really have to lay out your story when you're conceiving even just one single issue. Just so that you know there's more story to tell. Because a lot of people, what they do is, a lot of the some of the really great TV shows, I mean, they have a really great first season, and then they left nothing for the other season because they ran out of material. And that's another thing I try to do with Tainted. I mean, like, even from the first couple issues, I tried to lay out just a small piece that would play over the whole entire this arc, maybe even more arcs. And that's those shows where they have the one great season that frustrate me to the nth degree. And the only one that pops into my mind right now is The Flash on CW, where the first season was amazing. And then every other season, every other subsequent season after that has been a little bit worse as it goes.
Yeah.
So I mean, that just has to do with relying on your subject matter. I mean, it's like it's The Hobbit too. I mean, it's all over again. Like, I mean, was 200 and some page book, and then they turned it into 3 3-hour movies. I mean, it's you have to add all this extra padding to it to stretch it out, but then you also lose the impact of the central story itself.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've learned over time, is just to make sure that when I tell a story, that you want to have the people coming back for more.
I mean, like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead did very well with sort of teasing the next big bad, the next big conflict, or the next big enemy that they're going up against.
Yeah, they have. Walking Dead is also another example of a series where it has hills and valleys. I mean, there are some episodes that are utterly astounding, and then there's some episodes you kind of fall asleep through. and then there's seasons that I mean where you fall asleep, and other ones that are really great. Um, but the reason Walking Dead I think keeps going the way it is going is because of Kirkman's comic book. I mean, it's still going, so they still have stuff to draw on.
Well,
Where
apparently it recently got cancelled, didn't it? They had to bring it to an end.
I know it was all of a sudden. I mean, it was like issue like 129 or something like that, where they just sort of said, "This will be the last issue," and they didn't reveal it until the book came out.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
How can you?
Which is kind of kind of insane for a successfully popular comic book like that, because you kind of going the readers going, you mean they're not going to undo any of the stuff that just happened? So I mean, there's good side of that, and there's a bad side of that. I mean, you're getting a finite, this is the end kind of thing, or you're getting oh, they cut the thing too soon. But
so yeah, I've only got the first two compendiums of The Walking Dead. My wife.
And are you enjoying it?
I'm still on the first one, mate. Because obviously we don't have much money, but my wife, I think she got her nana to buy me I mean, my wife enjoys reading The Walking Dead as well, so she's getting the most out of it. But yeah, I'm still on the first compendium at the moment, but I need to. I also got the first volume. Have you heard of a comic called 100 Bullets? Yeah, really brilliant series. I recommend this to you as well, Corey.
100 Bullets.
Yeah, really cool. It's got quite a lot of adult themes, in the, and again, without sort of spoiling anything, it's sort of a little similar to Tainted. It's got this, not like a cult, but they're like sort of this, how to describe it? They're like this centuries old. Oh, what the hell? I'll just refer to them as well, they're like an organization that has been around for some time, and there's
like the Mafia.
Like the what? Sorry.
Like the Mafia.
A little bit like that. There's some like they've got their fingers in all the pies. You know, they're sort of in government agencies and law enforcement. They really. This organization goes quite high to the top, and in this first volume, with all the issues, it's really clever how it sets up all of these small minor characters and how their stories then start to crisscross over, and they eventually interact and meet up with each other. Yeah, so, yeah, very very clever. Again, I don't want to spoil anything else.
It was I had the first issue quite a while ago.
That's Brian Azzarello.
Yeah, and I thought it was one of the first Vertigo titles, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. I think it came out in early Vertigo, I think, though.
Let me have a look. But yeah, it's definitely a comic series that I recommend to people. Let's see the publication.
It came out in '99.
God, is that when it was?
It came out in '99, and then it went from '99 to 2009.
Yeah.
And it was called 100 Bullets, and it lasted 100 issues.
I like that they structured it for it to last 100 minutes. 100 minutes. Yeah. 100 issues, sorry. It's because I read further down. That's it. The organization or people that work for it is called the Minutemen.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to... It's got that sort of blend of like noir and sort of pulp. And
Yeah.
it's a very diverse comic as well. It's got all people from different regions, and like I was saying in the Wikipedia page, Brian Azzarello, realistic use of local accents and frequent use of slangs and languages from different characters. They're all people from all sprawling parts of society, parts of life. But enough about 100 bullets. Back onto Tainted. You know, I really wish people to donate to your Kickstarter. Again, to remind people, I did put it in the description of this video. Was it August 19th? So you said that's Monday. Did you say that
Monday.
was? Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah.
I'll just add that to the description. Monday.
And I can send you when the page goes live. I can send you the live link too.
Yeah, I'll add that to the description as well.
Just I'm going to be scrambling this this weekend to get the video done. I need to get the video done yet for the page, and the page will be set. So
yeah,
videos are always the tricky part. So they're always like I mean, you can watch a gazillion videos on YouTube on how to make a Kickstarter video, but do any of them actually inspire you or make sense?
Yeah. It's always a sort of hard, like where to start with that kind of thing.
Oh, I know. It's. I mean, and you can't use any music because it's unless you find some uncopyrighted music. I was lucky enough with my first campaign for Tainted that I actually contacted the band who did the song, and I asked them if it was okay if I used the song on the Kickstarter. And it was only going to last this certain amount of days, and they said, "Oh yeah, thanks for asking. Go ahead."
Yeah, that's
and
good.
we got the song, but trying to do a video without that kind of music is going to be tough, because it's always nice to edit to a song that's playing in the background.
If you're unsure, just ask. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's what I say to other creators that want to be a guest on the show. By all means, just ask. We're always happy to have people on, have creators on.
Yeah, it's one thing I think a lot of people don't realize about indie creators is just how much of a Herculean task it is to get a book out.
Yeah.
It's and because there's so many out right now, and just so many new books coming out all the time, that it looks easy, but it's there's a lot of coordinating and a lot of planning and these kinds of things. I'm going to have a huge task to overcome for the third book, though. I wasn't sure I was going to say this on the show, but with the third book, I'm actually my head artist has stepped down. He's going to become an art teacher, and wants to teach digital artistry in the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
So he's going into that, but he's still going to do commissions, but he's going to mainly be doing, that's going to be his full-time job, because he wants to save money so he can get married to his girlfriend. And I mean, to have a steady job with being an artist, it's really difficult to even as good as he is, to to make a stable living. So that's what his plan is.
Yeah.
So I did put an advertisement on connecting writers and artists. It's a group on Facebook that a lot of talent are part of. Asking for a replacement artist, and to replace the artist, one of the biggest hurdles I'm going to be going to is trying to get as close as I can to the same style. So I've asked for a artist that can do manga slash new Archie kind of style, somewhere in the middle there between those two, because that's sort of what his style is. So right now I'm taking in portfolios from lots of different artists who are interested in the project.
Yeah.
And I'll be working with them on and hopefully whittling it down to our next artist, and then after that we'll do a grand announcement on who it is, and we'll go from there. But it's tricky, but I have talked to some professionals in the industry, and they said, like, I was so devastated that I was going to have to switch artists in the middle of a miniseries, but with some of the professionals, they actually said that no, they point out a lot of big miniseries. No, there was a change in artist in between them.
Yeah.
Like some of the Infinity Gauntlet ones. I mean, there was first couple issues were done by one artist, and then the rest was done by another artist. It's and that's kind of what I would like with Tainted. Would it be that yes, the art style might be just a tad bit different, but not so different that it changes the whole look of the book. And I think with I think what also I think that the road trip kind of issue for issue 3, I think is also another good place for a new artist to jump on, because you're opening the world more and you're showing a lot of different things. So I think with having a different artist, you'll be able to open the world up a lot. Francois was always scared of doing backgrounds. He didn't like doing backgrounds. I mean, those his backgrounds have been really great. And he was also really in the early going. He was really specific on switching between like doing sequential art versus a full page art. So I mean, that's what happens when you have a beginning artist, and I think, but I also like that because you're both growing together. So that kind of connection with him, I'm going to definitely miss, like, the journey that we've gone on, and the book that the 2 books that we've done together. I mean, have been astonishing. I have a friend, another fellow, a Canadian friend. He does a comic book too called Jack of Trades. And he had to do the same thing too. He did 2 issues, and then his artist having his artist too, and then he had to switch artists. So he's been giving me some pointers on how to continue, because he got his first volume done, and his first volume's out in trade paperback now, and he's quite happy with it. So, but once again, I'm talking too much. Sorry.
No, you're not talking. You're not talking too much at all. No, you're fine. You right, Corey? Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just like I said. Yeah, I'm hoping that a lot of people back this. I hope that it gets at least its goal. I mean, that's what you can ask for. But I really hope that it meets enough that you can maybe expand and find an artist that is similar to the artist that's departing there. That's what I'm hoping for, because I'd really like to see issue 3, 4, and 5. And so I'm really hoping people back this.
Mm.
That's I I think the thing I can take away from this whole experience is that I'm not going to quit.
Yeah, I don't quit.
And there is going to be a 3, there is going to be a 4, and there is going to be a 5.
Mm.
And even if we have to move some of the chess pieces around, we're still going to get there.
Mm.
And that's I don't know if a lot of I hope that any other producer of a comic series will say the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that happens.
Mm.
And I'm gonna be back again talking about number 3.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, you're welcome. Always welcome to come back. We always say this to all our guests, so they're always welcome to come back.
Except for Flattmeister.
Is it you're gonna take my channel from me? Are you, Nerdwolf?
Flattmeister is a guest, actually. He's just been on 81 episodes. And it happens to just be a coincidence that it's called the Flat Pack.
Yeah, when I'm old or when I die, I'm gonna hand my channel down to my mini meisters. The mini meisters are gonna continue the channel for me.
It's gonna be like your will reading and stuff. It's like, and my most treasured item goes to
my YouTube channel.
All 3 of us just like get up and we're like, I don't care. See you later. Bye. Hey, you lady, do you want it? Yeah, you can have it. No, you don't want it. Okay. No, I'm just joking. No,
the mini Meister hour.
The mini Meister hour.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But like it's a pleasure having you on again, Dean. I'm glad you came on the show and talked about Tainted with us, because Tainted is awesome, and I'm looking for this thing to get bigger. I know that you're just happy you're just happy to make the comic, but I would like to see a show with like a Sarah Michelle Gellar clone, and dye her hair and whatnot, and there's plenty of good actresses out there. Like, it'd be really cool as a Netflix series or something.
That would be a lot of fun, yeah.
What's that?
That would be a lot of fun. I'd just be happy with the photo cover at this point, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yes. But one step at a time, and I think that this is great. It's great seeing number 2. Well, it's great seeing Tainted number 2. I don't want to see number 2, actually. Like, I don't want to see you get it. But
I had to go there.
Yes. But yeah, this is I don't know, like, I just want to, like, I'm probably going to read it before bed tonight. I'm going to read it before bed, because I have a tendency of, once I hit bed, like once I hit the pillow, not out right away, but if I read or if I play the Switch, then I'm usually clonked out. And I usually wake up with my lights still on, and like my Switch is battery down to like 3%. But
yeah,
or like
give it a read, bud. I mean, when before I got on the call with you, Dean, I quickly just flicked through issue 1 again, just to sort of refresh my memory of what happened beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then sort of went
next time you come on, you'll have to give it a couple of days in advance. So.
Oh, I know. We got it down to the wire. I mean,
Yeah.
Just getting that PDF out. I mean, we're I said I meant, like I said, I don't even have the video yet ready for the Kickstarter page. So,
Yeah, that's
but
all right.
$8,000 will fully fund third issue. We need to get you to the 8,000 goal.
that would be nice.
I can't say it because we're not like wizards or gods or anything, but I meant we as in a community and stuff like that. Meaning, this is just such a great project, and this is an indie comic. The first one was an independent comic. There's no team behind. There's a team, but it's a very small team behind these books. They have great writing. They have great art, and I think that this is the type of thing that the comics community, whatever it's called these days, we won't get into that, I don't know, but this is what people are asking for, and I think that until you start going very like the big two on us or something, I think that we need to continue to support these, because these are very at the heart of what this community does, is support independent comic books. And I think that this is very much an independent comic book and deserving of a modest amount of money to help it keep up production and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, go on.
No, I mean that's such kind words, and you guys have always been so enthusiastic and so supportive, and it's just great to hear that kind of feedback, especially when you're when I think with any independent comic book, I mean, when you produce it and then fire it off into the void, and you get a couple trickle things coming back, it's kind of you kind of hard to get motivated to continue.
Yeah.
But then when I have such supportive guys like you, and supportive some of these some other people that I know that are extremely supportive of this book, like my friends and family, I mean, it just makes you want to tell the story more.
Yeah, you can tell you put all your blood, sweat, and tears into this project.
Oh yeah, I mean, and then some. But
yeah.
I read
the firstborn child and the whole kit and caboodles.
I read a quote from Jack London today. It said, "You can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club."
Yeah. A disco club.
I thought that was very. I thought that was very poignant to the creative process.
Yeah.
Going to a disco club. Yeah, very creative.
So I was gonna say, we're at about the hour and 15 minutes. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience, Dean? So before we wrap up,
I don't think so. Other than come out and on Monday and support the book, and I really think you'll enjoy it, and we're going to be plowing it into number 3 here pretty quickly, and unlike a lot of the other Kickstarters, you'll be getting this within a month. So that's I'm really proud of being able to get the book out as quickly to our readers as we can. So
not waiting several years, unlike some other projects we've heard about.
No, I know. Like some of them are just utterly insane. So
10,000 years.
When I turn 87, it'll be out. Okay, is that good enough?
But I really wish you all the best, Dean. So, sort of any final words? Anyone else?
Nope. Come on, Corey. You always have a final word.
Yeah. Well, so I'm gonna ask this again. I was kind of debating it throughout the thing. If somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, I want to make a comic book, or I want to do something. I want to be like you professionally, or whatever. I want to be a comic book writer, artist, creator, or whatever. I just want to make a comic book." What kind of advice would you give them? Like, what would be your best advice for them?
My best advice for them. First of all, I would have to think. Okay, what part of the comic book do you see yourself taking being a part of? Do you want to be? Are you a writer? Are you an artist? Are you a colorist? Are you a letterer? And then if they said writer, I'd say save your money. No, just kidding. No, basically what I would do is tell them to join a lot of the independent groups that are on Facebook, and some of the independent pages that are on Twitter, and just start conversing with people, and just getting to know people, because I think contacts, and I think before you networking, exactly, because I think before you might have a great idea for a story, and you might have the whole story written out, but there are a billion artists who have different styles, so you have no idea what your style would be for your book. A lot of the time. So if you're thinking, okay, I want to do this Star Wars meets Planet of the Apes meets 2001 meets whatever, but then you end up with a guy that draws is really good at Mickey Mouse. Well, the comic book is going to be, first of all, very psychedelic, which is probably not what you're looking for.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Or maybe it is, maybe it isn't, exactly. But just be prepared that once you open up your script or your characters or anything like that to an artist, they're going to come back with their interpretation, and that interpretation may fuel your juices more, or it might make you go, "What the?" So that would be my advice. Be prepared for the unexpected, and network, because and be open-minded, because you're the way you imagine your book and the way it's going to turn out might not be exactly the same thing, because it's I mean, you can, but your budget might is probably going to what's that word, minimize what you think. Like, I mean, you can't run out and hire Jim Lee or David Finch or somebody like that to do your book, because I mean, they're DC Marvel artists, and they're looking at probably 200 plus pages, $200+ a page US. Where the guys you're probably going to end up working with for your first book, I mean, they're going to probably be $50 a page. And that's mainly
and talented too, though, because like your the artwork for your books look like they're DC and Marvel quality, and
that's
just there's a lot of, it seems like there's a lot of good artists that are more reasonable maybe than some of the big two artists and stuff like that, you know.
Well, there are. You just have to do a long vetting process. To get, like, I mean, I took me Francois was my second artist, and the first artist I picked, I mean, I had to go through 20 or 30 different guys sending me their interpretation of Krieg, and you should see some of the interpretations that I originally got. I mean, they're on the Facebook page, but some of them you just scratch your head and go, what? How did you get that from what I described? But after the show's done, I can show you some examples, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, is that's what I would say would be open-minded, and just stick and just yeah. That's what I think. I'd be open-minded and be I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else more to say.
No,
Yeah, that's
yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Dean. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
No, it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. You guys are awesome, and I'm so glad that your show has gone 81 episodes, and I wish you another 81.
Yeah, we're trying to get our audience to. I know some of the blame is with YouTube's algorithm. It's all the algorithm, and also the blame does fall on me as well. I know with my chronic pain and stuff that I can't upload as much as I'd like to. But
it's fine, man.
But I tried to get the show noticed by more people.
You're doing amazing. I mean, you're just gonna have to find. I mean, people will eventually find you if you just keep up with the quality that you guys do. So
yeah,
we need to build a baseball stadium.
I've written a couple of I think I've written 3 articles for Bleeding Fool. Not to be confused with the crap comic website Bleeding Cool. Yeah, Bleeding Full, which is I've been really good at showcasing indie comic creators. I think one of my articles was an April's Fool article, sort of a satire article. Second one, which was sort of dissecting the sort of tribalism that can come up with regards to certain communities and such, or just or even being on an individual level as well, like careful you don't fall into these tribalistic traps. I also was sort of, I think I plugged the flat pack in that article, and with our most recent guest that we had on at that time. And then I wrote my third article was it was a review of an indie comic. It was called The Samurai of Oz.
Oh right, yep.
And it's made by the creator of Patriotica.
Yeah, I remember seeing for our Kickstarter ads for that. I think.
Yeah, was for the first issue of that, and so yeah, I perhaps need to get into the habit of sort of reaching out to the editor and saying, oh, can I? I guess just I don't have the confidence. I don't have the confidence to. I feel bad, sort of shilling, like, oh, can I plug my YouTube channel? But I'll see if I can. I'll do sort of get on that on a more regular basis of, like writing an article that sort of showcases our latest guest that we have on the show. Perhaps that'll bring more eyes and attention to people's projects that such as yours, and other guests that we have on.
What about Do you guys use Reddit at all?
No, I don't. I perhaps need to.
I just started using it now. I don't know if I'm an old man or not, but like,
Yes.
I'm not that old. But like, I don't know. I guess I've always felt older than what I am. But I couldn't figure out how to use Reddit for a long time. And I'm just starting to kind of get it now. Twitter was the same thing. I didn't understand Twitter for a long time, and I still kind of don't. But
Twitter,
I'm using Twitter a lot more than I
it's
did.
just dabbling.
Yeah. But yeah, Reddit. What were you gonna say about Reddit?
Well, I thought there's oodles of channels on Reddit. I mean, have you guys ever thought of plugging the show in some of the comic feeds on Reddit?
Yeah, I'll have to consider. I'll have to get around to doing that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, I better wrap up the show. But
Okay.
so again, thank you, Dean, for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you on.
No, it's like I said, it's always a pleasure to be here too.
Yeah. So I've been your host. I've been your host, Flattmeister. It's been Nerd Waffle.
See ya, pals.
See ya. Again, Switch Point and Crumple Point. We missed you. Would have been great if you'd have been here. I know you probably were busy. And of course, a big special thanks to our guest, Dean Kish.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. And so to everyone watching this live, or if you're watching this later on, don't forget to share around the this video and check out the Flat Pack playlist of all other episodes of other guests that we've had on. We'll catch you next Wednesday, 11 p.m. GMT. That's 6 p.m. Eastern. I think next week we have a guest. We have Gilbert Deltres is coming back on again to talk about his comic Grom. I nearly say Gorn for some reason. Is that something else? His comic Grom, so we're looking forward to hearing about that. So we'll catch you next Wednesday. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.